Hello, it's Jason again from Overland America, and today we're going to show you how to cook a Philly cheesesteak sandwich on this Skittle, the Overland Bound edition. It's awesome, it's great, and you can see it's very delicious. And I guarantee you, if you try this, you will not be disappointed. And this Skittle is great because it helps support our Overland community and Overland Bound. So please feel free to jump over to their site and order one for yourself. Until then, I'm just going to have to take, another bite and just try to tell you how delicious this actually is. Enjoy. So we're gonna start with a little bit of butter. I try not to use too much butter because, as you can tell, I'm trying to watch my figure. But this is an olive oil spread. It's not butter, so it's more calorie conscious. And for those of us out there who are watching our calories, this is a little bit more to our liking. So we're going to melt this, and one thing that I noticed that I didn't do, which we did do after the fact, is I would probably recommend throwing a couple of coats of oil on the Skittle before you use it the first time, and then season it, in the oven under 450 degrees. Afterwards, I went and I redid it, and I put like 3 coats of oil in it, and seasoned it in between each coat, and it comes out like glass, and it's just like a non-stick pan, and it's just awesome. So now we place a little bit of steak on the Skittle, and we just need to cook that up. The steak here is a nice steak. We picked it up at Costco, and my lovely wife marinated it, for a couple of days before we put it here. This being, wintertime is a little bit chilly outside, and we were right in New York City on the Hudson River at a park called Liberty State Park. The Statue of Liberty was just not too far from here. So we wanted to take the Skittle out here and just give you a look at what it looked like. Plus, we wanted to share this most delicious Philly cheesesteak sandwich that we were preparing here for everyone to enjoy. So as you can see there, we have, the water and everything like that. You can't really see the Statue of Liberty from this angle. Unfortunately, it's at the other end of the park, and we were at the area where you could do cooking and barbecuing and stuff. So just enjoy and let me know what you think. Next, we add a little bit more butter because we're almost getting to the point now where we're going to start adding the bell peppers and onions and things like that. It's going to go into the Philly cheesesteak. and we don't want them, sticking together. And we want them to have good flavor. Again, keep in mind that we are using not using real butter. We're using a olive oil based butter. So as you can see, we're putting in some red bell peppers and some onions, and we're going to stir fry those on the scuttle to mix with the steak. It took a little bit longer than normal here because you can't really tell from the video, but it was probably in the 40s right now, and we were on the water, and it was a pretty good wind, and it was actually blowing the fire under the skittle and the heat, dissipating it and not letting it absorb up into the skittle quickly enough. But that being said, it still, as you can see here, did a pretty good job. Look at that steak. Doesn't that just make your mouth water just looking at it? And, it took, like I said, it probably took an extra, 10 or 15 minutes to cook everything because of the wind that was blowing and everything. But when we get to the end, you'll see that it came out really well, and it's mouth watering. And look at the skill of that cook. I mean, he's just flipping that stuff around and making it look neat and delicious. Putting a little season here, a little salt, a little pepper. Like I said, we already marinated the meat. We used a teriyaki marinade, which is one of my favorites, and it was very delicious. And the meat was tender and very good. We prepped a lot of these things at home before we came out here, just because we were going to be here at the park, and it was cold, and that we didn't want to spend a lot of time out here prepping the food to cook it. We wanted to be able to show you what the scuttle, the Overland Bound edition, can really do. And to my surprise, then it came out. The Philly cheesesteaks came out wonderful, and they were just delicious and just the way to go. And I would recommend this to anybody who is an outdoor enthusiast and likes to camp and cook outside. Even if you just have your have a house and you're just gonna have barbecues and stuff like that with your friends, you can put this out in the backyard. You can cook yourself up other things besides just the Philly cheesesteak. I mean, there's a lot of things. Even Leo, he's like, where's mine? I think I want to have some yum. The smell was driving him crazy. And as you can see here, now the saute and everything is good to go, and we're mixing the steak and the onions and bell peppers together to get ready to place them on the sandwich and eat it up. And as you can see, it's cooking and cooking good. So now it's time to put the cheese. A lot of Philly cheesesteaks, they use that American cheese, but I'm not really a big fan of American cheese. To me, it's a little bit too rich and too salty. But what I do like is provolone cheese. That's one of my favorites, and so that's what I decided to use here. So as you can see, we're placing some deli sliced provolone cheese that we also picked up at Costco onto the Philly cheesesteak sandwich, so that we can melt it into the top of the meat. We also took the bread that we again bought at Costco from the deli, or from the bakery, I mean, and we placed that on the side of the skittle so it can warm up and get toasted before you put it into the Philly cheesesteak. And this worked out really, really well. Like I said, with the wind blowing and the fact that we were like right on the river here, it did kind of dissipate the heat from the flame underneath the scuttle a little bit, so it took a little bit longer here, but as you can see here, the final outcome was just awesome. Right now we just the bread was toasted, put it on top of the steak, let the cheese finish melting, and then as you will see shortly, The outcome is nothing short of miraculous and delicious. And it was just, I just don't know. I've said it once and I'll say it again. It was just the best Philly cheesesteak I think I've ever had. And I've had quite a few Philly cheesesteaks, but this was just the cream of the crop and just the best that I can have. And I had no complaints with it whatsoever. And actually, funny thing about it was, the next day we actually had one Philly cheesesteak left that we took home, and I came home from lunch to enjoy the Philly cheesesteak, and I saw my wife sitting at the table, and she must have got it just before I got there, and she was just enjoying it. And she looked at me, she's like, "You didn't want this, did you?" No, enjoy. And it worked out. So like I said, it just came out really well. Well, just about time. Looks like the cheese is about melted, and then this is the easy way to do it. You just pinch it in the bread and flip it up, and you're ready to go. You've got the cheese, everything melted in there, and with that marinade, I mean, it just really, really brought out the flavors of the steak. Like I said, I made one for me, and then we had one for my wife. And as you can see, I'm really, really enjoying it. As you can see from the cheese coming from my mouth. Thumbs up. It was a good job. But like I said, I mean, with the win and everything, it took a little bit longer, but it was well worth the wait. It was just awesomely delicious. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So I hope that if you would like to, make one of these, or if you even have suggestions on a recipe that we could use for the scuttle, we would love to hear it. So please leave us a comment down below and let us know what you thought of the video, if you would think about buying one of these and using it yourself, or if you just have a recipe that we might try. So until then, we'll catch you on the next trip, and we really, really hope you enjoyed our show.